the committees, and we are crossing back to the Committee on Education, Science and Technology, who are reviewing the state of foundational literacy and numerous levels in primary schools. And this time around we have the Ministry of Education as they make submissions. Remember that is the last day of the city, so we will bring to you the live proceedings of this particular meeting.
Minister of Education, good morning and you are welcome. We'll begin our meeting by members of Parliament introducing themselves, then you can introduce yourselves as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Banda.
Thank you very much, Your President. Witness in Banda, Parliament for Chimwemwe constituency.
Member of Parliament for Gwe.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Chinga Myoto, representing Karab Central.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, witness. My name is Womba Songwe, under Committee Department.
Witness, good morning and you're welcome. Chair, thank you. I am Chirimbo Elijah from the Office of the Clerk of National Assembly.
You may go ahead and introduce yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Cham Kalimbika, Director responsible for early childhood education, and in this session I'm representing the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Kelvin Mambwe. With me are my team members. I'll allow them to introduce themselves. Thank you, Chair.
Director and Evaluation in the Ministry. Thank you.
Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning.
My name is Moses Kusongwa. I'm representing the Director, Primary Education.
Okay, thank you. Maybe your mic. Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. Good morning, Honorable Members of Parliament. I'm Professor Belram Sanya, Assistant Director, Educational Broadcasting Services, representing my director.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, Honorable Member, representing ECE Director.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Honorable Members of Parliament. I'm Mojipira Debi, coming from the
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And my name is Harry Kamboni, Member of Parliament for Karomo Central and Chair of this committee. Case of my honorable members. You take through your paper, but preferably you may take maximum 20 minutes. And especially challenges, solutions, those who need to hear them and the conclusion. You may now take us through the paper. But before we do that, I'm giving you Cap 12. so that you are not taken to court by what you say, for as long as what you say is true. And then the same Cap 12, if you didn't tell us what is true, it may end up tying you. So you may take us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you very much, Commissioners. As I Dr. Kelvin Mambwe, who is Permanent Secretary in charge of Education Services. I will read this on his behalf. Thank you. Chairperson, honorable members, I'm grateful for this opportunity to present to you the status of foundation literacy and numeracy in Zambia. This report provides a clear, evidence-based picture of where we stand as a country in ensuring that our children acquire the basic skills of reading, writing, and numeracy that are essential for learning, progression through the education system, and long-term national development. Foundation literacy and numeracy, which are equipped from early childhood education through primary, form the bedrock of all subsequent learning. Without strong foundations at this level, learners struggle to benefit meaningfully from later stages of education, leading to retention and limited human capital. The report is fully aligned with Zambia's commitments under Sustainable Development Goal 4, Vision 2030, the 8th National Development Plan, and the Ministry of Education Strategic Plan 2022 to 2026. Chairperson, the Ministry of Foundation Learning is grounded in Gazette Notes number 1123 of 2021 and supported by a strong legal framework. This includes the Education Act number 23 of 2011, the Teaching Profession Act number 5 of 2013, the Examinations Council of Zambia Act number 20 of 2023, and the Zambia Qualifications Act number 8 of 2024, among others. Through this merit, the Ministry is responsible for policy formulation, curriculum development, teacher education and regulation, provision of teaching and learning materials, and learner support services. Importantly, our role is not corrective, but also preventive. We seek to identify learning gaps early and intervene before they become entrenched and systematic. Honorable members, the evidence from national and international assessments, including the National Assessment Survey, National Competence Assessments, EGRA, EGMA, SECMAC, and PISA-D, shows that foundation learning outcomes remain a serious concern. Less than half of learners in grades 1 and 4 are meeting desirable proficiency levels in literacy and numeracy. While literacy outcomes have shown only marginal improvement over time, numeracy performance has declined, with the 2021 AS results representing the lowest levels recorded in the past 2 years. Clearly demonstrated that while we have expanded access to education, access alone is not sufficient. Deliberate and sustainable attention to learning quality is essential. At the same time, Zambia has made notable progress in expanding access to education, particularly through free education and increased investment in early childhood education. Enrollment in EC grew by more than 46% between 2023 and 2024, while primary enrollment has now surpassed 4.4 million learners. Are commendable and reflect strong political will. However, they also place significant pressure on classrooms, teachers, and learning materials. Without targeted interventions and adequate resourcing, rapid enrollment growth risks widening learning gaps, especially in the early grades where foundation skills are developed. Chairperson, with regard to teacher capacity, through reforms in teacher education, including the mass recruitment exercise of 2022. Nonetheless, challenges remain. There are gaps in subject mastery and pedagogical content, knowledge particularly numerous, and access to INSEFs. Continuing professional development remains uneven, especially in rural and remote areas. In response, to strengthen both the pre-SEVs and INSEFs teacher training with a deliberate focus on early grade literacy and numerous instruction. The availability and equitable distribution of teaching and learning materials remain another key constraint. Many rural and remote schools continue to face shortages of books. Numerous and early grade provides national literacy and numerous curriculum-aligned syllabi and textbooks, as well as supplementary materials. However, distribution challenges persist, and these inequalities limit the impact of our interventions, particularly in high-needed areas. Honorable members, disparities between urban and rural schools inequality consists and even access to EC challenges in teacher deployment and retention, gaps in infrastructure and learning resources, as well as language socio-economic barriers. Equity, therefore, is not a peripheral issue, but a central concern in our policy and programming. In addressing foundation learning gaps, the catch-up program has emerged as a flagship intervention. It uses a small group, level appropriate instruction supported by continuous assessment and learner tracking to help learners who are behind. Evidence that is currently constrained by teacher shortages in some rural areas, limited availability of materials in certain schools, and a complete national scale-up. Chairperson, the report identifies clear challenges, including uneven teacher deployment and retention, readiness due to uneven ECE access, shortages and inadequate distribution of learning materials, and weak use of assessment data at the classroom and school levels. At the same time, these are significant opportunities. These include a strong reform agenda, the scalability of the catch-up program, expanded teacher recruitment and professional development, and the active engagement of communities and cooperating partners in early learning. Going forward, the Ministry will prioritize strengthening pre-SEVs and INSEFs teacher training in literacy and numeracy, ensuring equitable deployment of teachers and learning materials, scaling up the catch-up program nationwide, improving the of assessment to guide instruction and resource allocation. We will also sustain investment in early childhood education as the foundation of learning and mainstream equity, focusing on In conclusion, Chairperson, foundation literacy and numeracy remain among the most urgent challenges facing Zambia's education system. While progress has been made in expanding access, strengthening policy frameworks, and introducing targeted interventions, learning quality and equity requires sound and deliberate. With continued political support, adequate financing, and effective scaling of these
questions. Honorable members are still think. I just want you to where ECE is primary ends. We just want to have a clear demarcation. Yes. When you say foundation learning, where do you end?
Thank you, Chair. In Zambia, foundation learning starts from pre-primary. We call it pre-primary, which is same as grade 1, so which we call lower grades.
Okay.
This is the definition. So,
and then
and if you go by the current government policy, ECE with at age 6, children enter grade 1. At age 6, then grade 1, then it continues in there, what we talked about in foundation, then age 6, age 7, and age 8. Translate them in terms of ages.
Yeah.
If we avoid the use of grades, if we go by age, it means foundation learning will go up to age 8. I'm sure.
Okay, now those, I don't know as every child would, whether we call them foundation teachers.
Yes.
Which classes can they handle?
Colleagues, before I speak, can I allow you to speak on the foundation learning?
You may put up your mic. Oh, yes, sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chair and PS. For early childhood education, according to the 2023 curriculum, teachers who are trained at ECE are only allowed to teach from 3 years to 5 years. Then those who move on to primary, there is primary that they are trained to teach in primary.
Because now you have said ECE, or I don't know whether it's foundation learning, they should have different which grade is it, or you are going to grade 1 or up to 4?
The current policy, Chair, is the ECE will only teach ECE. Then the grade 1s, 2, 3, 4, they'll be trained in primary. Then the ECE are trained in ECE.
With separate teachers?
Yes.
And then they don't, primary, you have lower primary?
And upper primary.
And upper primary. Now, yeah, just on this one, I wanted to ask, Honorable Mzingine is coming, because you see, to teach lower grades, you need a teacher that is very well experienced. It's not every teacher. Patient, to be able to handle these kids properly, and usually you don't send straight from college, because teaching lower grades is more difficult than upper grades. If you are running that institution, you are the headmaster or headmistress, you really have to take time to make sure that you take the appropriate teacher to bring in the results in the lower grades, because this is where it is very difficult. Now, when you separate them now, as we are going to separate, you take that aspect away immediately. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Question we have is that most of the ECE centers are still annexed in primary schools, and we have indeed specialized teachers, as you have rightly pointed out, that we need good teachers to start with the learners as they enter the school. So the ECE teachers are specially trained for that, and when they pick up the children that go to school from 3 to 5 years, we have seen, and we believe that the training is enough to equip them. So those that are aged 3 and 4 years, they are the ones that are in level 1. When they 5 years, they move to pre-grade, and they are being prepared to move into grade 1. Equally, when they move to primary level, the grade 1 teachers are also carefully selected. They could all be trained, but as you know, even after they are given the same training, the teachers perform differently, though within the minimum competences that we expect them to exhibit. So they are prepared from 5 years to move to grade 1 at 6 years. And so far we haven't seen major challenges in the transitioning. Maybe because the current situation we have is the ECE classroom is one of the classrooms in the primary school. And though we have the ECE hubs being constructed, but we don't expect to see challenges when they move from ECE to grade 1, because they are well being prepared.
So there's preschool, isn't it? Middle school, and then preschool, isn't it? Preschool is the first level, middle school, the second level,
and level 2.
Your mic, yeah.
Chair. We, in the ministry, we have those that are aged 3 and 4 years, they are in level 1, and those that are aged 5 years are in level 2. And these are the ones that are being prepared to transition to grade 1. However, I've seen another level in primary where they have 2 levels, and this is in line with competence curriculum. Okay.
Are often conducted in non-local languages, making it difficult to demonstrate the full potential. This is your find. This is your finding. Secondly, a realization by the ministry that the policy of rural children learning in their local language, as they go further, it disadvantages them. because you are saying they are not able to realize their potential because they start learning in their local languages. But assessment do not come into their local languages. It comes in a non-local language. That's my first question. My second one is my second one is on the teacher-related challenges, qualifications and content knowledge. Many teachers, you've indicated, many teachers possess formal qualifications but lack deep mastery, which limits their ability to deliver effective instruction. And these are, we are referring to the teachers. Where is the challenge? What is it? Enough for teachers that have been trained to get the relevant information, the relevant knowledge, so that when they go and teach, they are able to deliver. Is it a curriculum content? Is it the teachers themselves that even when they've gone through instruction as teachers, but when they go to EC, they still have inadequate knowledge to deliver their subjects? Thank you, Chair.
Okay, you can note that question, yes?
I think my first question is related to what is seeking to understand. Because I'm now seeing a trend where we are emphasizing more on the CPD, even to those people that are just coming from colleges and universities. So are we saying that the colleges and universities are not preparing people that are enough in terms of content? Qualification, yes. So are we saying the content they are getting from colleges PD when people are just coming from colleges? Because I'm seeing that the focus is in CPD is related to allowance for missing classes. Me, I was changes every, there are new innovations every, that would require them now to be having these CPDs. So I'm just adding on his. Then my substantive question is this issue of retention. Right now in Itezi, if I'm to give you a practical example, if there will be a recruitment in the next 2 years, we don't need any secondary school teacher. We just need the primary teachers and early childhood teachers. Spoken about this and go to Karao, you will find the picture is different. So we've kept on talking about this issue, but there's no action. So how do we address this? Because I think all the reports that have been coming here, they are giving us this picture. And I hope there was an HR here. I don't know if there's any HR. We had the HR in there. Yes. But we need to address this issue. I want to comment on that one. Then the last question that I had, the deficit numbers, the current, are they reflective of, if the figures and the statistics are different, what is happening in the private school, which is Thank you, Chairman.
Honorable Banda.
Thank you very much.
The mics are on strike.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Mine is on remuneration on the ECE teachers. I just wanted to find out whether ECE is a program, specialized program from education with regards to primary school, or is it a lower program compared to their friends who are teaching education. The reason or my question comes about by ECE teachers complaining that they are actually getting a lower salary, meaning they're in a lower grade than their colleagues in primary education. Thank you.
Yeah, you can quickly answer those, then we get a last set of questions. Yeah. Everyone that is it's working now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Chair, thank you, Chair. I'll pick one, then I'll allow my colleagues to speak on the issues. Let me pick. ECE is a subsector, just like primary education subsector, secondary subsector. Now, in Zambia, we are analyzing and ECE. If you see as well, discover that the same, like in the past. In the past, it's generally, I will not use the word, generally people of ECE, where you find are taking 3 O levels without talking about 5 O levels. But this time around, and even entering the universities, it's highly competitive. Furthermore, agree with me, we are professionalizing it and
So
making
you're saying they're scaled the same in terms of...
That's
money?
why I'm coming.
Okay.
Excellent, Chair.
Yeah.
Actually, what we are saying is what would be the next point. Chair, thank you for your understanding. The salary scale, Chair, for ECE is the same. If you have a certificate, you get the same. You will be in the same scale as someone who is teaching primary school. I think that's correct. Same scale, even in primary school. If you are a degree holder, you have the same scale. They are entering at I for the degree holders. When you're at ECE level, you enter the same. That's why when Director Standards was explaining to you, she touched on to say, no, even going forward, even what it is that ECE teachers are highly qualified. So that is the point which I wanted to explain. Pick it up from
Maybe what is to us too there?
Yes, Chair.
Since you have touched the salary scale, how about progression? Can a teacher with a degree in ECE be the headmaster or headmistress of a primary school? Where can they progress to apart from being in class? In short, thank you.
Very well. Thank you very much, Chair. The current structure where we are, because the current policy is that you annex an ECE class. That's the policy, which is the current policy. Meaning, where you have a primary school, you put a classroom for ECE. Therefore, the administration in the current situation for ECE teacher, they fall under primary. Now, what have we done? As I'm speaking to you, we are very advanced as a ministry. We are working with the cabinet office. We have already come up with a prototype structure, meaning we want to move away from where we are moving to is that there will be now ECE teachers who have their own administration, just like primary schools have their own administration, as well as secondary schools. Therefore, in terms of progression, these teachers will progress as ECE. You work as ECE, you can start with a certificate, diploma, master, degree, masters, up to PhD, or even professor. We want to produce, Chair, professionals who should run in that profession without wavering going into another field. That way, as a country, we achieve international standards. And already now, I can assure you, Chair, that we are one of the best in the world in terms of professionalizing and institutionalizing ECE. That's the direction we are moving, Chair. I submit.
Have all the questions been answered?
I'm sure you are clear on that point, Chair?
Well, yeah, because you see, they'll be looking at 2 levels. And so this headmaster or headmistress will be looking after 2 teachers. Difficult because then these teachers leave this field. Can become headmasters, senior teachers. They can also go to the ministry. There are a lot of opportunities. But you would find in this, you don't really have teachers because they are opting to go to primary where there are more opportunities or secondary school. That's what the disadvantage of teachers is kids at that level. But that's why it is. And I thought that is one disadvantage that is there, which is a complaint which most witnesses are bringing, that incentives in that field are limited. So it becomes a disadvantage to keep them. Yes.
Questions are not.
Yes.
No,
yeah.
Still on the same. I don't know. Bring Karab this recruitment. Touch with Karab. What the chair to fill for primary school teachers. They failed. They are applicants. So you have to be very careful. The school teachers. That's what happened in 2023. So, where you are heading to? You are heading to a point where you have no teachers in these ECEs. Because they will be migrating. They don't want to be here because you are not considering them. At the end of the day, you have a school with ECE class, no teacher. Because they have advanced academically, they want to go to secondary school. That's where you are considering. You have to be very careful. Honorable Chair, I like the words which you, these days you have stopped talking about them. Other countries consider, well, you know them better.
Do you have the immunity?
In other countries, they don't employ like Zambia does. Degree, that's the same salary. So there's no rushing to, no, I want to go to teaching. No. It's, but here, Karabo district, when we here try to find out about Karabo district, call the DC, call the DEBS, though we have a new DEBS, but the system there will tell you that that is the situation where we are heading to. Me, I was a teacher. What made me leave teaching? It's the same thing. Because they did not consider us. So I said, I can't continue working without consideration. So I would have died or retired as a simple class teacher. And I'm even stopping my children to becoming teachers because you are not considering them. Chair, as if it is a joke, I've brought in Kalabo District. Let them find out about it in 2023. Secondary school teachers were found that there were no primary school applicants. Right now, the number of CP, you call it, you say CPDs. Try to find out with Charimbana, try to find out with Nkrumah, Mulungushi, University of Zambia. Who are the in-service, we call them in-service? But the same primary school teachers, they want to move away now. Ministry, you have to be very careful. They are moving away from these classes of primary because they have realized, they say, but Mr. Mutu were teaching with him now. So they are also moving away from, because they are, you are not attending to them well. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I will need also to, Mr. Honorable Muzingiri's questions will need to be answered, but just on that one, I think if you ask me, to be separate, to have a different administration is very costly. You're going to have a headmaster of only 2 classrooms, of only 2 teachers, separate management. So now, because again you say ECE, then you also say foundation learning. What is so difficult to have foundation learning from ECE to foundation learning? Foundation. Now it's like you separate it and you put stones slab, it's separate. You understand what I'm trying to say? This foundation is prepared, that's the foundation. Why are we not one ECE to have learning properly? Now we have to analyze ECE separate, then foundation learning from grade 1 to 3 separate. Are you going to have different management from grade 3? You put them together with primary. Yes. So I think in terms of management, right now you are struggling also financially. So now you have to look for headmasters for these EC yourself as a ministry. Pay them more, who will just be sitting waiting for a meeting of 3 teachers. I don't know, but it's just a comment out of the box, yes.
Thank you for your council chair. We have taken note. Let's now allow my colleague to respond to
this question.
And Honorable will come on that order. Then we'll have a response.
Yes, and
fine.
Yes, please. Fine.
Thank you so much, Chair. Actually, I was trying to indicate leader that I just wanted to add a voice on the observations you have made. We have seen indications in the ministry about the concerns of progression of our ECE teachers and the primary school teachers. Though we are not human resource experts, but we are talking about some of the things we have seen. We take note of the observations and from our honorable member from Kalabo, and this is something that we will not take lightly, Chair. There is already to see what can, but it is not something that the Ministry of Education can handle alone, because it requires even upgrading the payroll establishment to accommodate those that motivated to upgrade within the same area. Like the ECE teacher who has a certificate should be motivated to move to a diploma and even to a degree, so that we keep the experts in their specialized levels. I'm just indicating that we take note of the submissions, and we are very grateful because they take us on board as the ministry. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, then Honorable Muzingiri's question.
Okay, Chair, let me pick one. CPD. teachers, they may need CPD. But I think these fields, just like those engineers we see from universities, when they go into these companies, they are taken through, they are more or less like attached when in fact they are just employee like any other person, basically because of culture. They need to learn how they operate. Some of the local policies within the company, which are not, which I would say they are not privy to under training. From the ministry point of view, when these teachers come, we have culture in schools that they need to learn. They need to experience what they are learning in institutions. For example, they need to see how they manage the classes. Of course, theory, practical. Come and sit and learn these practices that goes on in school. What are some of the things that they need to do away from the classroom in terms of behavior and so forth. In short, Chair, we want these people to gain confidence even when they enter the class. When they experience what they experience, teachers, they show them how to handle classes beyond the training they underwent. At the same time, we expect them to now come to reality. We need to see the all sides of curriculum in terms of practical now, other than the theory. Of course, we appreciate that they undergo that 3-month period when they are on attachment, but I think they need to come understand how curriculum should to implement it. In addition to that, then teaching method. We want teachers to appreciate the learner approach. How do we manage the setup? They go a long way. Even our learn new that of course we know that teaching is not appreciate that there are changes because there are emerging issues and you need to move with it. We also need to support lifelong learning, even from view. There should be that practice that if you're trained, we still need to learn, so that we are in that direction.
You mean they don't learn?
Maybe lastly, we want to promote professionalism. That's something that goes with CPDs. Well, I would say in general, Chair, we want these teachers to be...
Maybe we can put your mic up.
All of us. So I think the point is, if there is a training which is robust in terms of practice, is a primary school training. Me, I did a secondary school training, and I will tell you that I was not jumping every day the way these primary school teachers, the thing is very limited. The bigger chunk of it is practical. So I think the point we're emphasizing is that let's not focus more on CPD. The focus should be the content, the subject matter. Otherwise, issues around practice, the college caters all that. If the college content is structured in a way, it will get the results. So I think the point is, without undermining the professional growth, emerging issues, we are just worried that the issue of CPD is becoming, it's part of the training, like it has a package of CPD. I think that was what our concern is here. By the way, CPD eats time, classroom time, it eats. Practically it eats classroom time. Yes, and there are teachers who have to move 100 kilometers to go to their nearest resource center. It eats time, it also disadvantages learners. So the emphasis, if there is a way that the training can be packaged, and the CPD should just be a bit of professional growth and be responding to emerging issues, there will be comfortable. But once it becomes at the center of there's something wrong there. There's someone doing the right thing somewhere. That is my opinion, Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Sumsing, have your questions been answered?
No.
Repeat them, I think. Your mic? Your mic?
The rural area, the rural pupils where they are disadvantaged by learning in their local languages, but the assessment is not in their local languages. Ideally, the principles of assessment is that if I learn in Tonga, I must be examined in Tonga. They are examined in, they learn in Tonga, and then they are examined in English. How fair is that? To me, that is an assessment that is out of syllabus, because that is not what they were taught. Now, my question really, the fundamental question is that, is this a realization by the ministry that by localizing those, it is something that is not helpful, because eventually they don't write what they learn. Is the ministry looking at the possibilities of changing that policy?
It's very interesting. You learn in English, then your exam is in French.
Thank you so much, Chair. But before I respond to the Honourable Member of Parliament that question, let me just plead to the Chair the comments that he made to say, how can you have a head teacher of 2 classes? Honourable Chair, you might be able to know that when we are talking about having a head teacher, a deputy teacher, and also some senior teachers at ECE, this is one way in which we are going to talk about retention of teachers, Honourable, in Kalabo, whereby the teachers of ECE are going to have a progression on how they are going to move and be retained in that subsector. Let me make a mention, Honourable, that at ECE we have a class, like for example, we've just finished under standards doing a survey where we have 310, that is ECE, children enrolled. And if you look at some of these at Katete Central, 300
primary school.
300.
How many streams per?
They've just got one.
No, per grade.
They've got one stream at the moment for ECE.
No, I mean primary. Those students, they progress to primary.
Yes.
So if that's what I'm saying, primary, they have how many streams?
They have got 4.
4.
Yes. So, Honourable, that means that some of these schools, if you equip them to a primary school in a rural area, the 310 just for ECE is enough to cater for a primary school. So that's why we are saying to say, if we have a different administration, Honourable, in fact the children under 5 in Zambia, Honourable, there are more than 2 million according to the statistics, under 5. And we are not catering for all of them as a country. And we are talking about early childhood education being a foundational learning. So it's our plea, Chair, you understand to say that early childhood has got more children even than primary school. So that's why we are having that structure that will help all our children to come into foundational learning. And let me also mention, Chair, that
why can't it just, you see, you are not overlooking what I'm saying. Still more, you're talking of how many grades? 2 levels. Why not call it like a department incorporated? So that you see, and this is why you are training ECE teachers only there, and that's why there's a problem with their progression.
Yes.
Why don't you train them to cover all the foundation? Because even a teacher now knows preschool, I'm not the one who's going to help them in grade 1. Why should he or she care? But when you know if these preschool kids, I would be the same one to handle them in grade 1 where the results should really be seen, the level of concentration is, you would find teachers say, before these came to say, me I want to go on with my children, who I taught. You know, I don't want to take somebody's because I will inherit where maybe he wasn't even doing. I don't know. But I still think, then you are using 2 terms. You say ECE, then again you say foundation. You talk about foundation. And that's what I'm saying. It's a bit internationally. Why can't we have up to foundation? So that when you talk of foundation, it's complete. Now we want to mention footing separate, slab separate, But they're part of foundation. I don't know, but it's fine, really. We're just commenting.
Okay, understood, Chair. Then coming to the question that the Honorable was asked, I think this has been taken care of now, where we are introducing English, and also we are also teaching in the local language. So this issue of this language,
you are introducing.
Children will be learning a Zambian language, that the seven approved local languages that they are.
So local language will be a subject,
yes,
not a medium of instruction.
No.
So they will be learning in English.
Yes.
And taking a lot of vernacular, so that's different. Yes.
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
These are changes that come
Your
by way
mic.
of being cosmetic.
Your mic.
When we were growing, I mean,
Your mic there.
when we were growing, that is the trend. You are in grade 1, you learn your Tonga, you learn your English. You can't cut off really English when the assessments will be in English. No, thanks for that innovation. Let it come through.
Yeah, but still more. You are the people, the architects of this. Because me, I would love even now, as he is, as director, he should be directing up to foundation learning. How do you assess him? You end on ECE. Level 1, level 2, he ends there. Then when people talk about foundation learning, we are looking at two people.
Chair, you want people to lose their jobs when they are directors.
No, I'm saying, as he is director there, for foundation, he is director for foundation learning. If I gave him that title, I'm not wrong. We needed here somebody for foundation what? Learning. But he ends on ECE, then you leave grade 1, 2, 3. That's why I asked, can you clarify where ECE, where foundation learning ends? And we have said foundation learning, because this is all foundation from ECE up to grade 3. Yes. And then you cut it at ECE. You get what I'm trying to say?
Thank you. Madam Director, would you like to comment on the issue of procedure?
Yes, the issue of rural learners facing language barriers. Chair, maybe this could have just been in one of the assessments where we had this challenge. The previous curriculum we are coming from, the instructions were given in local languages. But when from grade 1 to grade 2, they will start learning English as a subject, so that at one point the teacher will sort of switch as they prepare them to completely pick up the instructions in English at grade 5. And the assessments that were done in local language. We had partners like USAID Let's Read, where we were able to translate into the 7 national languages the assessments in week 5, week 10, and week 13 of the term. So I think this, we could have just encountered this in one of the assessment. We sincerely apologize.
So let me know, ECE, are you using vernacular or English?
For now, the instructions are in English, but when they just report, the teacher is allowed to code switch, because they are coming from an environment where they may not be speaking English, but the instructions are in English.
Yeah, because the policy on this has really been shifting. When General Meanda came with a military background, vernacular, there was a drastic change. I still remember very well. And then now some can't make it. It's in between. Okay, you can become a cow, a bit of a zebra is fine. It mixed. I think my point is, as a ministry, you need to have a long-term policy. When children are very young, they learn very quickly, especially ECE. They learn very quickly. If you go to a new place, I worked in a different country where the phonics were different, tonation were different. Setswana is very different from our language. But our kids were able to learn, our children. They would speak faster than us. And they would also forget it quickly. When we live in that country, you come here, they will forget quickly. So I think children at that level, they're able to learn any language very quickly. Yeah, so I think the issue of medium of instruction should really be consistent. It should be clear and very consistent, so that it can help. And it's you people to make that policy very clear. Yeah, not when now we have a different director, again it changes. When we have another, again it changes. I think there must be consistency. Yeah, that's my comment.
Thank you very much, Chair. Let me just emphasize on that point. We have taken your guidance on your comments on issues of the structure. I think you are stakeholders. That's why we are here. We are here to get guidance, listen to what you are giving. We will pick it up with our colleagues here, see from your comments on how we can progress. Okay. We take note. We may not fix to say what we think is correct remains like that. I think that's not the way we will operate. The emphasis on the language, which even Honorable Simuzingi talked about, the current curriculum, the 2023 curriculum education framework, puts the language of instruction, I think that's the word we use, as English as an instruction. And that, if you heard Director Standard say it, code switching. Code switching simply means that when the children, if you are in Sinazongwe, code switching would mean when the children are coming, the teacher will say which language do they understand. The teacher will be able to speak in Tonga and also speak in English. That is code switching, because the language of instruction is English. So you introduce first the language which children can understand. If you are in Kalabo, if you are speaking Lozi there, the teacher, when the children are coming, will be able to say, these children first, they may not understand English. So the code switching issue will be, first localize what they understand and bring them into English. Okay. Whereas the Zambian languages are now a subject on its own. You take out a subject where you'll be taught, you'll be reading in vernacular. Similar to Zambia primary course for those of you in the old days, if those started a long time. That's how we are starting. I'm sure you remember, Honorable Minister, Honorable Chair, that in the past, when we were doing Zambia primary course, we were learning in English. And then the local language or Zambian language was a subject. Yeah. And I think this is the route we have taken. This is a similar one, Honorable Chair. The issue of changing from time to time, I don't think it will arise, Chair, because it is embedded in the curriculum.
Thank you very much.
Unless you change the curriculum, I believe, colleagues, this is the situation. What is in the curriculum. So it can only change when we revise and change the curriculum. I submit, Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Banda, has your question been answered?
Yes.
It has been answered. I think, yeah, so we are almost winding up. Just a quick one, which you should answer very quickly. One, do you sometimes interact with the Higher Education Authority to look at the curriculum they give in these colleges for these teachers? Because there are complaints of these teachers being half-baked, not ready to handle these kids, these pupils. Do you sometimes interact with them? Because they are the ones who approve these, the curriculum that the learners are learning. When these colleges are applying to have a license, they pass through there. Do you sometimes interact with them to look at what they give, whether it's compatible with your standards? Because then that would help to make sure that the teachers that come are up to your standard. And then there was a concern here that when it came to books in vernacular, no publishing companies were willing to publish. Do you have any textbooks that you know written by Zambians or anywhere that are there, core textbooks for these levels of ECE? And why is the issue of textbook consistently a big problem, and what can we do to, Then the last question I have, the designs for ECE, they are not really very good. I don't know where you got them from. To get a design, we need to spend money. You don't just get, because what you produce will come from the design. Those designs of Randolph, those should only be when kids want to go and play. In the rain season like now, they should have another area where they can. I see them in this government primary school, just in the bush. Sometimes they don't even clear the bush, it's there, alone, you know. So when it rains, where are these kids? I think in short what I'm trying to say, we need a proper design for ECE. Really, when you build, you say, see, this area, and the ministry should spend money with a design, even for the classroom block. But that's not your area. Even for the classroom block, now you are PS. For the classroom block, what counters to build, they used to look nice. They used with veranda very small, as if there was a shortage of cement. We can't have honestly a good design. I always ask you, we need beauty. These kids come from some thatched house, and when they go, they need to say good built block. You know, in other countries they spend money and the blocks are very nice. But ours now they have become worse. They just simplified, and I think it's non-government organization, World Division, that brought these designs. The veranda very small. You know, I don't like. I think the ministry should come up with.
Okay.
With proper design.
Thank you, Chair. I will respond to that. Then my colleagues will answer on the issue of books. My colleagues are here. Then let me deal with the infrastructure issue before my colleagues comment. Thank you, Chair, for your observation. I want to bring to attention, Chair, that the ministry has a design. Honorable Simuzingiri can testify to that in Snafara. I think government is constructing one through his effort.
Are you happy on with the design?
Extremely happy.
The design, Chair.
I'm wondering which one you are talking about.
I'll ask him.
It's done by Chair. I will not mention the name of organization because we are in your house. I will just say what observation is clear. These are done by our partners. The cooperating partners. I'll put it that way. Then other issues we can discuss.
Do you have a specific design
for us,
for ECE?
Chair, we have specific. If for you, those that even in, I think if you go to Nsarari, if you go to Nsararong along.
Yeah, but in Karomo Central and that's Dundumwezi.
Okay, Karomo Central. I haven't seen one.
No.
But I want to confirm, Chair, that we have a proper design which caters for all those. The ones we have, Chair, they are very good. Our team from infrastructure did their work to come up with those infrastructure.
Are they there at district level?
Right away, Chair, I would say currently we are constructing 260 centers, because under the project which we call Zambia Enhancing Early Learning Project, we are constructing 222 centers. In terms of the district, Chair, in Luapula we have 9 districts. I think we have a total number. When I was counting for Luapula, there were about 44 centers. In Eastern Province, we are in 80 districts. And Western Province, we have 7 districts. In Muchinga, Northern each, we have 6 districts, whereas Northwestern has got 5 districts. Southern Province, of course, Southern Province, Copperbelt, Lusaka, and Central, 1 each. I think that for Southern Province, you have it in Pemba. Specifically, I remember the school for there, which closer will be Kanchomba and Siazuera there. You find those structures, Chair, I want to confirm to you that they are very good.
I should bring one to Karomo district. We want to see it. Because Zox, we should also relate with Zox. They are drawing those randomos. I don't like them.
The Chair, I wouldn't want
They are building those.
That's why I said
but the partners can be guided by, you see,
excellent.
If you want to build a school now, you go to the ministry. They will give you specification. A classroom width is so many meters. Length, they guide you. Otherwise, they will refuse. They will not approve. So then, how is the Zox building without approval of the what? ministry. So if somebody is helping, he should follow the standards of the what? The ministry. I think that's what you do.
Chair, through your committee, that guidance, we are here, we have heard from you. I think that we'll take that guidance, Greeks, that it is very important. What you are saying, Chair, is very correct. We have taken note. And we have always, even during our meetings when we are with partners, we have always told them that it's very important that you take the national priorities of government. When you are coming, you know what government wants, and it's very important that you fit in what government is doing.
Yeah.
We have taken note of your guidance, Chair, and we pick your very correct observation.
And you see, PS, for me, I have a teaching background. So I want to build using CDF. Classrooms. Because headmasters have been put there, they have to separate, they have been coming to request. Now, if the design is not there at the district level, we are stuck. A contractor will come, what design do we give him? So the contractor will just build another classroom block which you may not accept. And that's why I've been insisting to say, at least the plans should be there at the district level. So that then when we subcontract in district, we subtract a contractor to build, he's got a term of reference at the district level. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Chair. The issue of books in the local language has been a challenge in the ministry because provision of books has been liberalized, I can say, that even the private sector is invited to be part of the process as long as they are able to develop books according to the standards that we prescribe. Once the curriculum is put in place, then the syllabus is written, and it's the syllabus that guides the development of the textbooks. So the textbook writers are invited and guided, and after that, when they develop the books, then the evaluators will evaluate those textbooks to ensure that they conform to the prescriptions that were given in order to support the delivery of the curriculum. So our experiences have been that we've had very few, sometimes no bidders in the local languages. And we were looking at it. Part of it is because these that are coming on board, in as much as they are trying to help us provide the books, they are also in business, because you find the quantities may not be very attractive to them. In the 2013 curriculum, what we did was our own curriculum specialists did develop the textbooks, and those books are still there, because the 2013 curriculum, in trying to address the literacy gaps, had a special approach where there was a separate literacy framework that was developed to ensure that we help our learners acquire the literacy competences. And this is where those books were developed by our own curriculum specialists to support that strategy. I submit, Chair.
Yeah, higher education, yeah, do you sometimes link? Yeah.
That is the other question. The third question. Would you want to touch it?
Sorry, let me take it up. In the process of developing the school curriculum, Chair, it is a consultative process. And it is clearly understood that the school curriculum which is being developed is going to be delivered by the teachers that are being trained in tertiary institutions, the colleges and universities. We don't have an issue or a challenge with the colleges of education under Ministry of Education, because once the school curriculum is developed, then the colleges of education teacher training curriculum is also developed. That will help the teachers trained to deliver the curriculum. But during the development process, we do invite the other tertiary institutions. They are part of the process. Institutions like University of Zambia, They do not follow the teacher training college that is developed by the ministry, but they are on board throughout the process, and this makes them do appreciate and understand the curriculum for teacher training that they are able to implement. Even when they develop theirs, it is they reference to the curriculum that is developed by Ministry of Education. Higher Education Authority does enforce the prescribed standards in the tertiary institutions, and there is a good link between the ministry and the authority. Even some of the committees under the authority, they are members from the Ministry of Education. For example, I sit on the standards subcommittee at Higher Education Authority. But besides that, even when they do the institution audit, they do the inspections that they do. They do ensure that even the programs that are developed are able to deliver, give the qualifications that will be able to benefit the ministry. When they are training teachers, they should conform to the standards. Besides that, within the Directorate of Standards Assessment and Evaluation, we also do inspect the tertiary institutions that are providing teacher training colleges. And
does that include private schools or only do government?
Yes, Honorable Chair, even the
private colleges.
The only gap that we may have is, especially in the past, has been the capacity in terms of logistics. But the past 2 years, we've been able to do that activity, not as frequently as we would have loved to do. But what we do when we inspect the institutions, we are looking at the minimum qualifications for admission into the college. Have they met the qualifications? In some colleges, we have seen that they don't even have the 5 O-levels, and they give them hope to write as they progress in their training. I think something which is not acceptable, because the entry points also indicate the quality of the student to be trained as a teacher. And we also look at the programs that they offer. For example, if they are training teachers to deliver science-related subjects, it cannot be done by distance education because of the hands-on, which is a key component of that training. So we are so much in touch with the tertiary institutions training the colleges to check on compliance. We have some challenges here and there, but we have made the first few steps, and I think that has helped us, though the issue of registration, accreditation remains the responsibility of higher education.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
I think we, Minister of Education, would like to thank you for coming, for interacting with us. I'm sure you are quite aware your area has a lot of challenges in terms of the product. Unable to read, write, I think it's not fair for children from grade 1 to grade 5, can't write even a number 4, can't write any word, 5 years going to school. It's really very unfair, and you are the people responsible, and we're relying on you. We really need to, because I don't understand, like I've said before, parents produce children, and the children who come, they can't speak, but they're able to teach them to stand, walk, talk, communicate. So why are people who are trained failing to teach? But I think there was also a question here where Honorable Twamutinta said, what is it that they do in private schools where they manage that we're not doing in government? I think it's a question of supervision. Yeah, supervision is really lacking. And I think as a ministry, I noticed that the DEPS district offices, the budget is very small. And as a result, how do they go then standard officers to go and monitor? We have left it like that. If you look at the budget for the district offices, which is supposed to offer, go at random, visit these schools, The budget is they do have Land Cruiser here, they can borrow CDF vehicles to go, but they are not well. I think the budget has to be looked at so that they are able not to carry this function of monitoring, because in terms of monitoring, we are not doing very well. And it's one of the reasons why possibly a difference between, because private schools will take these teachers, some straight from school, and they really produce very good results. You see them in the product, you see them in terms of, examinations as well. So I think we thank you, and we at the textbook issue, I think we'd love it to be attended really. You were with me, PS, in Ghana. There were a lot of textbooks you saw. A lot of textbooks they write in one area. Beautifully done, found from just at a glance, a variety of textbooks. And why don't we have that in Zambia? It's because people don't write books. Professors come here, they're also looking to buy books from other people, they have not written any. So I think the culture of people writing books more. It will wait for a publisher. You can write it, publish it yourself, instead of waiting for publishing companies to do. As an individual, you can still publish a book. You write, then it's approved, you borrow money and publish it. And then so I think we are very grateful for, and thanks very much for coming. It's one area where we are concerned and want it to be given priority as we go. And we are happy at least the budget it got a little bit more, but we want more so that learners who go to school for 3 years come up with something, for 5 years come up with something. So thank you very much for coming. And now that we have come to an end of our meeting, I now remove Cap 12. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. This is Parliament Television. You have been watching the live proceedings of the meeting, the Parliamentary Committee meeting on Education, Science and Technology, as they interacted with the Ministry of Education officials. And the meeting was reviewing the state of the foundational literacy and numerous levels in primary schools in Zambia. And I must mention that today is the last day of the meeting for the Committee on Education, Science and Technology, and they have interacted with quite a number of stakeholders who included the Zambia Open Community Schools, the Zambia Institute of Policy and Research, Zambia Institute of Policy Analysis and Research, ZIPA, Action Aid, World Vision Zambia, there's Basic Education Teachers Union, and also the Curriculum Development Center. Others included the Zambia National Education Coalition, ZANEC, Association for Development of Education in Africa, as well as the National Action for Quality Education in Zambia, NACEZ, as some of the witnesses that came and interacted with the Committee on Education, Science and Technology, as they were reviewing the state of foundational literacy and the numerous levels in primary schools across the country. So we will continue bringing live proceedings of other committee meetings as they are meeting in the various locations right here at Parliament Buildings and at Mulungushi International Conference Center. So we continue bringing Parliament closer to you through these parliamentary committees. For now, it's a good morning and good afternoon to all our viewers. Thank you.
The fifth session of the 13th National Assembly, which adjourned Sindie on Monday, 15th December 2025, will resume on Tuesday, 3rd February 2026. Follow the live proceedings on DSTV Channel 272, GoTV Channel 28, Topstar Channel 5, Parliament Radio, National Assembly of Zambia Facebook and YouTube pages. Parliament Television, bringing Parliament closer to you.
What is cholera?
Cholera is a diarrheal disease. A person with cholera will have severe diarrhea and vomiting. The stool will be watery, like rice water. The patient will